Welcome back, everybody. It is Sunday sit-down time. Joining me tonight, Tiger Radio Network's Matt Michaels. Matt, it's been a minute since you've been on Sunday sit-down. How you been? Kind of catch us up. What's been going on?
I have been all right. Well, there have been ball games to be at, and thank you, Natalie, for having me, and congratulations to you.
I appreciate
on,
that.
On your spot as sports director. Well deserved. No, it's been a season, at least from the baseball side, that is slowly building up towards its, conclusion, and halfway through the season, I think that you have to say that Mizzou baseball has put out a better product than last year. In terms of the wins and losses, I don't think anybody on the team thought that last year was what this year is, or that is to say that last season the record didn't reflect the amount of talent on the team. This season you get a better reflection of where they are and now where they could be as they head into the back half of SEC play.
Well, you know better than anyone else. You see them game in, game out. What is it specifically, if you can pinpoint this year, that just feels a little bit different about this team? What do you think made that difference?
Well, if you want to go just by the numbers, they're not walking as many people. There are not as many free passes. The pitching staff took it to heart that they needed to cut down on those sorts of mistakes, and they have taken it to heart and done very well. And I think that the offense has responded in a positive way also. You see progression from players like Torrin Montgomery and from Luke Mann getting some of his power stroke back, even though the average isn't quite there. A transfer in like Neander DeSatis, who is at times the leader in this team in batting average, came in from Florida State, didn't really have a successful outing at the plate in his time down in Tallahassee, but now he comes to Columbia and he's starting to really turn it on. Fox Liam is starting to get his power bat going, and I think Tiger fans have been really happy to see him come along. So there's that understanding that last year was last year, and so what? So what do you do now about it? And they've cut down on the walks. The pitching is still coming around in some ways, and now in the middle of the season, they're fighting through some injuries and some unavailability for some guys. But I think that the changes have been in attitude, in approach, and they've been in results, too. I mean, sometimes success breeds success, and the Tigers have had much more of it this year than they did last.
Well, they had a lot of early tests. When, you look at Arkansas, you look at Vanderbilt and Tennessee early in this SEC slate. How much do you think that maybe helped them along to kind of have those tests? And people were talking, obviously they didn't come out with wins in those series against those top teams, but played them pretty good, especially at Tennessee.
Yeah, no, the team at Tennessee probably felt afterwards like it played toe-to-toe with the best team in the country. And make no mistake, Tennessee's the #1 college baseball team in the country. I know they lost a game this weekend to Alabama. Then they came out the next 2 days and just pounded them. They're very, very talented right now. But what those early series, I think, taught Missouri is that they have a chance to follow their process, especially offensively, and have success. I think of it, the third inning on Saturday, when the Tigers were down 6 runs against Kentucky, and they send 13 to the plate. They have 6 singles, and they score 8 runs. Now, they get some hit by pitches, they do some other things, steal some bases, but they didn't need to have the long ball and the power profile to be able to create. And that's something that Steve Beazer has been trying to preach to this team. The little things matter. Taking the extra base matters. Taking the hit by pitch matters. They're one of the SEC's leaders in that category. And they've used that against some of these powerful teams and not had all the results. Well, the approach hasn't changed. And so now we see a part of the schedule. LSU will be a difficult test this coming weekend for Missouri, make no bones about it. But Ole Miss is not big, scary #1 Ole Miss that they were at the beginning of the season. They've had some struggles with stringing together hits on their offense, and they've been trying to find pitching all year long. Mississippi State, well, the Tigers won't be afraid of them. They took 2 from the eventual national champions at their place a season ago. The Florida Gators, who just came off of a series loss at Vanderbilt, but won and salvaged today's game. These are all teams that are more gettable. They aren't bulletproof in the SEC. And Missouri's played with pretty much every team on its schedule pretty well in terms of competition. At least we've seen that at times through the season. Now, can they get the results? It's the approach is there. The process can work. Can they find the results at the end of the year?
What do you think could be ahead for this team in the next few series? What is something you think maybe they need to show to kind of make that run that they'd like to make as the season, comes towards the end here?
I really think it's confidence. I think it's confidence in what they're doing and confidence in their abilities. It's going to be not necessarily mistake-free, but mistake-limited baseball because the SEC punishes mistakes like no other league in the country. It really will come down to, do they have the confidence to stick to their approach on the hill and at the plate, innings 1 through 9, batters 1 through 9. If they do that, I think they can have a lot of success. This team's played a lot better defensive game, especially in SEC games where they're one of the leaders in fielding percentage. They still lead the Southeastern Conference in double plays turned. Injuries and, how you're feeling on that day might always come to a factor. The Tigers didn't have Nathan Landry this weekend. You didn't see him in a game. Haven't seen Austin Trusser in a couple of weeks, but he's a very talented pitcher that the Tigers are hopeful to get back. So, you're going to have to manage those sorts of things. That's up for Steve Beazer and staff to do. But in terms of the club, the success can be there. There's not a series left for Missouri baseball that they cannot get in the SEC. And if anything was too tall a mountain, I'd tell you, Natalie. But they are right there on the cusp of some great things. You're not going to win every single ball game. It's too tough a league for that. But can they find their way to success? We're at the end of the season. They're knocking on the door of an NCAA regional. It's still within reach for this ball club.
Well, when you look at a team across Providence Road there, the Mizzou softball team obviously having a much different season than last year. You look at the start to the season, there's a lot of promise there. You get into SEC play, a few stumbles. Overall, what kind of have you seen from Mizzou softball that feels just a little bit different?
Well, it's not been as clutch in terms of the performance offensively. I think we can all agree that some of the batting averages are up, but the true pure power numbers that really drove this team a season ago are down, and that might be expected. And the pitching has maybe taken a bit of a sidestep. I think that it's very easy to get caught up in wins and losses in the Southeastern Conference, but you also have to remember that the Southeastern Conference has teams that some years all 13 go to an NCAA regional. They're all very, very talented ball clubs, so the level you have to compete at can be a super regional level every single weekend in the league. And coming back and trying to repeat something that you accomplished last season with that super regional and that unique group, even if so many are coming back, is a difficult task to pull off. So I think for that ball club the rest of the season, and I'm sure Coach Anderson has them locked in on it, focus on what you can control. Focus on your approach at the plate. Focus on your approach in the circle. And you should be able to find results and find success. Because in the end, they're going to the SEC tournament. And in the end, if they make noise there, they'll be able to have their fun in an NCAA regional somewhere. And once you get there and you have a chip and a seat at the table, absolutely anything can happen. So I know it's been a struggle so far for Mizzou softball in some ways, at least compared to very high expectations. But I don't think any of those expectations or achievements are off the table for them yet. But they are running out of weekends in which to prove it and to do it. And so that means you got to handle the pressure a little bit.
Still plenty of room to grow, plenty of time. It's near the end of the season, but still plenty of time to do some magic.
Softball's got 3 weekends left. The baseball team's only halfway done through their SEC season. There's a lot still to come on the Diamonds for the University of Missouri. At least I think so, and we'll just have to all enjoy the ride as we get there.
Well, I know you can listen to him on Tiger Radio Network every Mizzou baseball game, right?
Yes, I will. I will be there by hook or by crook.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you joining me tonight, Mike. For the rest of you guys, we'll be right back after the break.